The nation that possesses Oregon will not only control the navigation of the Pacific, but the trade of China itself.
In 1844, James K. Polk was elected president on a platform that asserted U.S. rights to Texas and Oregon. In seeking to settle the Oregon question, President Polk and his supporters claimed America's right to the Oregon Territory to the 54th parallel on the southern border of Alaska. Although much of this region was uninhabited and under British control, the 54th parallel became a rallying point for the expansionist cause. The American attitude toward the British was summed up in the popular slogan, 54-40 or fight.
54-40 or fight referred to this latitude line that is basically, if you'd look at a map of Canada, it would be midway from the Arctic Circle down to what is now the American-Canadian border. Well, that was a pretty bold, brash thing to say, but it makes for good politics. And so the phrase 54-40 or fight. In other words, the British give us the land, the border at 54-40, or we fight.
Back in 1818, the United States and Britain had agreed to joint occupancy of the Oregon Territory. And for 25 years, both countries had maintained a peaceful coexistence. As late as 1841, there were no more than several hundred American settlers in Oregon. But over the next few years, all that would change. In the mid-1840s, Americans traveled west in droves over the Oregon Trail.
As people began to move in here, word was sent back east, and that just fanned the flames and the interest to move out here. The Oregon Trail experience perhaps is the archetype of this whole American story of being able to pick up roots and move to a new place and start again. And this was a theme that was hammered home again and again in the media, in newspapers, people going around to camp meetings and giving speeches, really pounding away at this theme, let's move west.
Most of the settlers migrating to Oregon were farmers, but Eastern commercial interests were also keen on acquiring Oregon for its access to the Pacific Ocean. However, when rapturous reports of the bounty and beauty of California began to reach the east, attention was suddenly drawn further south. With its world-class harbor at San Francisco and its rich and fertile farmland, California soon became the object of expansionist desires. Afraid that pressure to give up Oregon might spur the British to vie for California, some Americans began to moderate their demands for the 54th parallel.
We must surrender a slice of Oregon if we would secure a slice of California.
Tensions between Mexico and the U.S. were already high. Fearful of a war on two fronts, Polk chose peace with Great Britain. He offered to divide Oregon along the 49th parallel. With the resolution of the Oregon boundary dispute in June of 1846, Polk and the nation could turn their full attention to the conflict with their neighbor to the south.